Hello and welcome to the very first episode of the new CoastersChat podcast. Coming up on today's episode, the transfer window, the situation in the National League and much more. Right, so this is the first episode of the CoastersChat podcast. I'm Calum. I'm one of the admins here. wearefylde. I'm joined alongside me by my co-admin Tyron. So Tyron, introduce yourself.
Hello. I don't know what to say.
And also over the phone we're joined by Freddy, who runs AFC Fylde Nation on Instagram. So introduce yourself, Freddy.
Hello guys. I'm happy to be here.
Brilliant. So, without further ado, let's get into today's topic. So first, we have to start, and that's the game at Chesterfield. So, Freddie, you were there on Saturday, so just run us through what you thought of the performance on Saturday.
I think, to be honest, we played the best we could, to be honest, because the game was very cagey, but when we had our chances, we should have been more prolific. Jordan Williams got on goal about 3 or 4 times, clear-cut chances, one-on-one the keeper, and just didn't make an impact. So I think we played overall good. If we just keep playing like that, we'll start grinding out the results come end of the season.
Yeah, you see, it comes at a cost though, because we now are 5 points adrift from safety. So, what do you think about that? How are we going to avoid relegation to the National League North?
I'm looking here at the table, and we've got a game in hand over Dagenham and Redbridge, and we're 5 points. And if we win that game, we're only 2 points behind them. And if Chesterfield drop points, they're obviously going to go below us. So I think we could stay up.
Yeah, of course it's going to be possible, but at the end of the day, staying up is crucial, not only for the course of 2022, but keeping our utmost our players, because if we drop down to the National League, we're probably going to suffer from mass loss.
Yeah.
It's not good for the club. So, Ty, what do you think on the situation in the National League?
I do think we'll be able to stay up. I think performances will improve as Walker and Proctor bond more with the rest of the squad. So yeah, I do think we can stay up.
Yeah, and Jamie Proctor is prolific. He scored all levels, signed for a Premier League team, Swansea, when they were there. And yeah, he looks a good player. I've seen him play for Preston, against Preston, and yeah. Tom Walker, obviously we saw what he can do on his debut, and yeah, he looks like he could be very good. Yeah, let's just remind ourselves of what Jim Bentley thought after that draw at Chesterfield.
Jim's a point here at Chesterfield, and a good point in the end, but it probably could have been more, couldn't it?
I could probably play again on the recorder from all the interviews most of the interviews that I've done. We've come here today, where we think that we can hurt the opposition. We know where they're going to potentially hurt us. Defensively, it's one of them games where you've got to stand up and be counted. We've done a little bit of work on direct play, which was going to be the way with a big dent up front, and there was blood spill today, certainly from the centre halves, because they battled away with Denton. I think territorial with the way they play, they get it into the channels, they play for that long flow. Klopp is a player I know from Burnley, and he's got one of the longest flows I've ever seen, so that was going in every time from the right hand side. Denton's obviously the target. They're in a little bit of form at the minute because they've won the last 2. Smith's got 2 and 2, now 3 and 3 after today, so it's a difficult place to come, obviously with the new manager and that little bit of a boost, but I think we probably had the best of chances first half. I think we were up against trickier.
So yeah, that's what Jim Bentley thought, and you hear a lot there. He mentions about Tom Denton. Freddie, what do you think is how Tom Denton affected the game on Saturday?
I think that Byrne and Whitmore actually deal with him very well, because I thought, Byrne has already said in his interview that he's going to obviously have to accept losing headers, and I think that we stopped him from doing that flick onto the left or the right winger, so I think we dealt with him quite good.
Yeah, and Jim Bentley also mentions there Jonathan Smith, who scored the goal for Chesterfield. He earned 2 and 2 for him, and Chesterfield's attack, you have to say, they have got quite a good attack, Tyron, don't they?
Yeah, they do. I believe we've not beaten them in any game we've played.
No, we've never beaten them in our history.
So it's not great. I was hoping for first win on Saturday. I did start listening to the commentary, but I had unfortunately other things to do, and I believe we did actually go ahead, but it got disallowed for offside.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, which was Crowsdale, I think.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
We were going mental, and then it
Yeah.
just got cut out.
I was quite happy with that until I realised that it got disallowed. But from what I saw when we played them at home, I do think their attack was very good.
Yeah. Well, when we played them at home, you have to Mike Fondop, who I don't think featured on Saturday. He scored 2. Curtis Weston was another who went close for Chesterfield a couple of times. He scored against us back in October, which was Dave Challenger's last game in charge. Let's have a look back on the month now. So it all started with a 1-0 home defeat to Barrow, the league leaders. And ever since then, we've been in the relegation zone. It's not been the best run of form for us in January. The only game we've won was the FA Trophy second round game against Southport, which I'd say was one of our best performances. The only problem which it came against the National League North team. We were all there against Southport, and it was clear to see that confidence was brimming, especially with Jordan Williams' first goal, Tyron.
Yeah, it was a very good game. Obviously, 13 seconds to go from one end of the pitch to the other. Williams' goal. It was very well taken. Sorry, very good brace. Like quick passes, quick running. It's very good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, Nick Horton also chipped in with 2 goals there, and Dan Bradley got the second goal for Fylde. Freddy, how do you think Dan Bradley's doing at the moment? Because he's been on the bench for the past few games after that game.
I think it's because of Tom Walker, to be honest. Tom Walker's only been here since the 8th of January, and he's made I think he's made an instant impact, and Bradley's been kind of pushed to the side a bit, and he's come in, and I think when he came on against Chesterfield, he didn't look that great. He was a bit like it's there and there, a bit sluggish. So I'd say that the impact of Tom Walker has obviously affected him.
Yeah, and also in January, we can't help but mention the FA Cup game with Sheffield United.
Yes.
Absolutely brilliant occasion. Jordan Williams, an absolutely fantastic finish. And yeah, you can see that they've taken some of the confidence from that, going toe-to-toe with the Premier League side, even though it was their reserve side, seeing as they made 11 changes. But yeah, it's very, it gives you a lot of confidence. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
She's good. And then sandwich in between those Saturday's game and the FA Trophy game, we had the postponed one against Notts County, which is a shame because I think the lads taking the confidence from the Southport game would have really been looking forward to. And then we had the Torquay game, which was very disappointing indeed, wasn't it, Tyron?
Yes, we did go ahead quite early in the match, but we couldn't take chances, and Torquay did. We couldn't hold. Well, we did play better than them, I think, but we were just a bit shaky in finishing.
Yeah. Well, we saw Tom Walker's debut goal, which was absolutely brilliant. But then I think we need to tighten up at the back because some of the goals we conceded in that Torquay game were quite poor by our standards.
Poor, very poor.
Yeah. So, and talking of January, the transfer window. How do you think we've done in it, Freddy?
I think we've done all right. I would say we need a couple more players because it's just what you've just said then about the back. We need to sign, I'd say, another left back for Luke Burke because I'm a bit worried with him at the moment. He's just a bit vulnerable.
Yeah.
And Jamie Proctor, good addition, obviously, but on Saturday he was limited to his chances because of the 2 Chesterfield centre-backs dealt with him very well. We've obviously studied him the night before the game. So, yeah, I think we've done all right.
You mentioned Jamie Proctor there. If you look at his experience, he's played for Fleetwood, Crawley, Preston Football League, and I think his experience can give the squad quite a big boost. And as well as you say, right back, I think a lot of the Coasters fans would not mind a return for Timmy Odosina on loan.
Yeah, yes.
He was absolutely brilliant when he played.
Yeah, he was. Really good player.
and I think he has got a future. If Norwich don't offer him a new contract, I think we've got to try and get him into the team. But if you look at his promise, there's quite a big chance as well, especially as that Norwich are probably going to be back in the Championship next season. He might get his chance in the first team, so Norwich will probably want to keep hold of him.
Yeah, when he played, he looked like just one of our best players on the pitch. Even in that season when we were going for the playoffs, and he just looked like by far one of our best players.
Yeah, very athletic as well. He's got the legs to go a long way in distance, and also he's orthodox. He can play centre back or right back, which would help, say, if either Byrne or Whitmore got injured.
Yeah.
I think also somewhere where we're very strong is goalkeeper. Look, we've got 3. So even if Sam Hornby injured, Dan Lavcombe injured, we've still got Montgomery, for example. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a good area to have that, because James Montgomery has obviously played in the Football League, he's played for Forest Green Rovers, and you got Dan Lavcombe who's played for the Wigan as well, so it's just good to have players like that, and obviously Sam Hornby, who's been absolutely brilliant this season.
Yeah. So let's take a look back at the league situation now and look at the top. Do you think Barrow can be caught? As in, mathematically, they still can be, but at the end of the day, from seeing them play, they look a good side.
Yeah, they do. They've won 18 games, 30 played, they've only lost 7, but the thing is with this league, you lose a lot of games, and they've lost 7 games, which, if you think about it, in the Premier League, Liverpool haven't even lost a game, and losing 7 seems like a lot.
Yeah, well, if you look, apart from the Premier League season, it's been all the teams have been really inconsistent. So, say if you're in the playoffs and you have a bit of a bad run, you know that at least 2 or 3 other teams are going to be having that same run with you. The same applies.
I'm looking here, and it's Barnet, Torquay are in 14th, and Notts County are there and in 7th, and it's 5 points between 14th and 7th. That's just insane.
And you look at our game on Saturday, Boreham Wood at home. We beat them away. Surely it's 3 points there, Tyron, isn't it?
Yeah, I feel like if the lads, the supporters get behind the players and they have enough confidence, we can get the win and get ourselves closer to safety.
So that game against Boreham Wood, if you remember rightly, Andy Taylor scored an absolute screamer on his debut. Dan Bradley scored the other, I believe. And yeah, it was when we were under caretaker charge, which made it
Brett Ormerod.
Yeah, Brett Ormerod, which just made it better. And so after that, we have the FA Trophy 3rd round. We're away to Dorking.
Yeah, I'm going to that.
Very good. And I've heard this actually, that quite a lot of people are overlooking Dorking, but you got to remember they've beaten Bromley, who are up in the playoffs in our league, 3-0.
Yeah.
Went to Stockport and won 4-0. We have to take them quite seriously, don't we, Freddy?
Yeah, I think so. They're a good team, I think. The thing is, though, with the FA Trophy, we've got to be. I think this is one of the trophies we can actually win, even though we're where we are now.
Yeah.
So I'd rather. Think play at least most of the team against them. Maybe give Dan Bradley what he needs, a bit of confidence, and yeah, that's what I would say about the game.
Jim Bentley doesn't seem to have been looking down on the cup competitions much either. Like, he played essentially a full team squad against Southport, and especially considering the fact that Dorking have just beat Stockport 4-0 away from home, I do think he'll play pretty close for first team.
Yeah.
And you look at last season as well, is how Challoner played pretty much a full strength team in all of our FA Trophy games. And as well, taking into the fact that quite a lot of our squad was cup tied. Dan Bradley was cup tied, Lewis Walters, Ash Hemmings was cup tied, and it's
Dan Bradley.
Yeah, I said him. Let's move on to our next thing. And who would you give your player of the month to, Tyron?
I honestly think just because of the goals and how well he's played, especially against Sheffield United, I'd give it to Williams.
Yeah. Freddy, who are you giving it to?
I'm tied between 2. We've already spoke about this, but I'm in between of Horton and Burke. because Burke, he's just been consistent, and he's one of the players from last season who I thought would have gone in the summer. And obviously Nick Corton, he played absolutely brilliantly against Chesterfield, Southport. He actually played all right against Barrow as well, even though he came off the bench. So I'm probably going for Nick Corton.
Yeah, I agree with you. Nick Horton, his confidence has to be at an all-time high at the moment with his the goals he's scoring. And it's not just like tap-ins as well. His
screamers.
His goals against Southport. First one, brilliant turn inside the box and finished low. Second against Southport, brilliant curling shot. And then against Chesterfield, brilliant half volley. And you also say Luke Burke in there. It's kind of coincidental because if you can remember, Luke Burke could have left in the summer because he was transfer listed by Dave Challoner.
I do think that we're lucky to still have him personally, because if I was a manager in the National League or maybe even League Two, and I would definitely say Luke Burke would be, if I was having defensive issues, Luke Burke would definitely be a target for me.
Yeah. And back to our January business. What do you think of Scott Duxbury going out on loan?
I'd say he's not really been given a chance, has he? Really think about it. It's a bit sad because he had that injury that affected him a bit, and his confidence is a bit low, and he's just a bit down, I'd say. And going to Chorley, he played 90 minutes against, I forgot the team who Chorley played.
I believe it's Aldershot.
Yeah, it was Aldershot. They drew 2-2, I think. And he got 90 minutes against someone else as well, so I think it's good to put him out on loan. Yeah, Halifax and Aldershot. So I think it's good for his confidence.
Yeah, I was looking at his games he's played. Yeah, a full 180 minutes so far that he could have played in those games against Halifax and Aldershot. So let's go on to see the rest of our loan players. And so, as I could make it on Saturday, I went to watch Sheldon Green at Bamber Bridge, and it's very good. Bamber Bridge, he scored a last-minute goal to win the game 2-1. Sheldon Green was involved in both goals as Bamber Bridge came from behind. Teed up for the equaliser, former coaster Richie Allen with a header into the bottom right-hand corner, and then finally played a cut back to Chris Church from the right back. Swung a header into Matt Dudley, who scored the winning goal for Bamber Bridge. Let's have a look at another of our lone players, and that's Kurt Willoughby, who played on his debut, played the full 90 minutes for Chorley. And Tyron, what do you think about that?
I mean, I'm not surprised he got a full 90 minutes personally. I am surprised he's not been played more for Fylde so far this season. Obviously, he did go out on injury, but I was expecting him to get into the squad as soon as he came back, as he is a very pacey player.
Yeah, and also as well, he's got promise. That look, you can see. He's been basically the distribution fan teams of both Blackpool and Man United, because he played for AFC Blackpool and then FC United Manchester. Pardon me. And yeah, he does look a good player. He could work on his finishing a bit, I think, because we saw that in the games against Chorley earlier in the season, and the ones and the one against Eastleigh, which was on BT.
Yes.
I think he's got the potential. It's just about applying that, and yeah, he could turn out to be a good player. Football League in the future, I reckon. So anything else you want to add on the team at the moment?
What, like the team specifically, or?
Yeah, just on the club.
I do think that I'm surprised we've not signed more players in the transfer window, as usually as soon as the transfer window opens, we sign quite a few players after the first few days. Don't know if that was mainly David Challoner's doings, but obviously Jim Bentley is used to having to work on a tight budget, so I don't know. But I mean, I feel like some more defensive options would be better, as our defence can be shaky at times.
Yeah, and I think you've hit the nail on the head. We need more bodies in, because Luke, we only have James Cragen can play right back, but primarily been under Jim Bentley, being played in the central midfield. So yeah, we do need a bit more backup in the centre of the park. Now, this is away from Fylde, but this is a very interesting thing that's been cropping up, is the topic of FA Cup replays. So personally, I think this should be a thing. A lot of clubs benefit from them. Look how Fylde came ever so close to getting one against Sheffield United. Brilliant for brilliant for the club. Getting a Premier League team to Mill Farm, it would just be brilliant. Big attendance, big gate, and we'd gain both financially and through supporters if we put on a good show. And I don't, to be honest, I don't like it that Jurgen Klopp's saying that what the whole of the Liverpool team are going to miss the Shrewsbury replay. What do you think on that, Freddy?
I don't know about that, to be honest, because I think they're literally going for the league now. They're gonna. I've got two teams. It's Fylde and City, and I'm a City fan, and I'm like, I don't know about this, but I think they will win the league now. And in the case of if it is the case to rest players, yeah, I would do it.
Yeah, but as well, you look last season from a City perspective, they won all three: the League Cup, the FA Cup, and the Premier League. So they showed it can be done.
And also, Jurgen Klopp has came out and said that he won't even be managing the team for the Shrewsbury replay, which I personally think it's just silly, because people calling to get rid of replays, it's only really the top 6 of the Premier League who want to get rid of them, because replays can massively help lower league clubs, like, because the Shrewsbury manager came out and said that the money they're going to get from the replay could help buy like video analysis equipment for the training and other to improve training, which would obviously be a massive help and could improve performances as well.
Yeah, and as well, you look this year, if you don't already know, the FA Cup 5th round, the next round, is going to be played midweek, and there's no replays after in the 5th round onwards. So yeah, I think and that's been pushed through by Premier League clubs to try and clear up fixture space. And also, I saw a tweet from Chichester City, the team that got the bye in the FA Cup. They said they played 10 rounds in the FA Cup, and in February have 9 games to play. The players are knackered. Are they moaning? No. Is the club moaning? No. I think it shows that some of the top 6 clubs, for example, are a bit used to almost baby treatment because of the status.
It's only really the top tier clubs you ever see moaning about being too tired to play games. You never really see a non-league club come out after all the fixtures, especially the fixtures in winter. The amount of fixtures you get in non-league, you never see any clubs down lowers saying, "Oh, we're too tired," and that calling to spread the fixtures out more. You don't see that.
Yeah. And as well, if you remember rightly, when we played Barrow and Barrow away, then Stockport at home, we only had a 1-day gap between those games.
Yes.
Quite a few of the Premier League teams also had a 1-day gap, but you look at Liverpool, I think it is, for example. They played on the Sunday, I believe. I can't remember against Wolves. But they had a bit more of a gap, so I don't see where Jurgen Klopp can come complain from. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Talking of the league, talking of cups, the League Cup. Do you think it should be axed or not, Freddy?
Do you mean by axed?
Got rid of.
They were talking about it the other day about putting Scottish teams in, about Rangers and Celtic maybe, but I think it's just another thing to have there for Europa League, and it's alright because if you've seen over the years, teams like Bradford and Swansea in the final, and teams like obviously Bristol City getting to the semi-finals against City the other year, I think it should stay around. And like you said before about Jurgen Klopp moaning, there's no point for moaning. It's just a bit arrogant for him, really.
Yeah, and obviously once again with the League Cup, it gives League 2 sides and League 1 sides chances to get more money to improve the ground and the training facilities, and it's just another way to improve get better quality football across the country.
Yeah, and talking on the subject of the Football League, quite a lot of our former players are now in the Football League. So you'll know Danny Rowe left the other week, and he scored his first goal for Oldham. What a place to score it! Salford City. I mean, He turned them. I mean, he turned them down. So it's very good. He scored in front of them. I thought another former foul player was with the Football's League side has dropped down division to our league, and that's Danny Lloyd, who was with us up until we departed Calum Park. He's joined Stockport on loan until the end of the season. He was a good player for us. He was a very nice man, and yeah. And I keep doing on here, but as I said, when I went to Bamber Bridge, they've got another former foul player in Joe Booth. The reason he didn't move to us when we went to Mill Farm is he has a plumbing agency, and so he had to keep, and it meant more to him. So yeah, I think that's all we're gonna have time for this week. Is there anything else you need to add?
Freddy.
No, I've got one more thing as well. About the Danny Rowe departure, I'm not too bothered about it, to be honest. If you've seen his goal against Salford, it's just a bit like what's just gone on there. He's actually running, so I'm a bit of 50-50 about the Danny Rowe situation, but we move on.
But I can see why he's left. Like, obviously, if you saw Jay Lynch's tweets recently after what David David Haythornthwaite put in the programme about it being a stupid move because he's been on the bench, he tweeted at Danny Rowe and told him to leave, and then after he did, he was moaning about Haythornthwaite contacting his agent asking for him to come back. So I can see why Danny Rowe has wanted to leave.
Yeah, I've got the tweet up here. I'll read it out for you guys now. I see the AFC Fylde chairman hasn't changed his ways. What a bitter man. The exact reason I left AFC Fylde. I thought the club was ambitious. Get out while you can, Danny Rowe. Mate, the grass is pretty sweet in Rochdale with the, whatever you call that picture. Emoji with the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then later on, he put, after Danny Rowe's move, he put, oh, and Danny Rowe, you will ring your agent in 3 months too, like you did with mine, and tell him you made a mistake, and ask if he can have you back. Anyway, all the best for the rest of your season, David Powell.
Yeah. I don't hold anything against Jay Lynch, because when he was with us, he gave his all, and that's all that we can ask of him.
Yeah.
Because, and he was also quite a nice guy, because I remember he's a Manchester United supporter, and I think it was one of our FA Trophy replays last season. He turned round to one of the fans behind the goal and just said, "What's United score?" I mean, you don't get many players who communicate with the supporters during the game. I think that's just non-league football at its best, because non-league football's about it all being approachable. And do you know what I mean?
You wouldn't get that in the Premier League.
Yeah, you're not. I can once remember. So in a Premier League where I'm being told wait till after the game.
I mean, even if if that did happen, nobody would be able to hear the goalkeeper because the stands are so far away from the pitch.
Yeah, and it's one of those really. So yeah, I think that's all we've got to do this week. So thank you for tuning in to the first episode of CoastersChat. And thank you for listening from myself, from Freddy and Tyron. Thank you for listening, and good night.
Thank you for having me.